All right, Ronnie. Glad you and Wendy are with us today. We just want to do a quick overview of what we've got here. We've just extended um, the get in business till Monday. I believe it's 25th. Half off, $49.50. You can buy a business. I remember a long time ago, I was looking for a job, but I found a business, and that was 19 years ago. And I decided to do the business versus work the job. And I've been doing this, 19 years. And the beautiful part about it, in order to be successful in direct sales, a lot of people talk crap about it just because they never done it. They never stuck with anything in their life. The only thing they've been used to sticking to is they've been sticking to a job, and sticking to the job is for somebody else to dictate your time. And so you work for wages and you work for salaries, and you pay everybody else before you get paid, and you work all your life because you're on somebody else's plan A. As long as you're on somebody else's plan A, you're just going to barely make it. Most times you're not going to even make it. So you start to wonder and live beyond your means, which I think is a program to get you in debt, living beyond your means on credit cards and such things as that. And then the next thing you know, you're hooked. You're hooked to paying everybody else, and you're showing up with your sweat equity. And it was better. I knew there was a life better than that for me. And so I launched with Mark Pentecost going on 19 years ago. And it created freedom. It created wealth of freedom of time. It created a debt-free atmosphere. It created a lot of different things. But has it been easy? No. Has it been worth it? Yes. I worked very hard. But we consistently show up and say, you never let anyone outwork you. When you make up your mind, I'm coming after it. And all the people that told me this wouldn't work almost 19 years ago, well, we proved them all wrong. Most of those guys are either with us, or they're still putting somebody's clock, and they're just living for Friday, the weekend. And I talked to some people today, and they just glad it's Memorial Day. They have no idea, conceptualized idea of what this holiday represents. It's because somebody else over there is they're over there sacrificing their life so people can have their cookouts and all that stuff this weekend. People died so you can have your freedom. That's why I love the capitalistic system. And I love especially direct sales because it gives me the flexibility to go out and work as hard as I want to. That means outwork everybody and create a lifestyle that everybody wish they had, and they're not willing to sacrifice for. And so I really appreciate our military. My grandfather was in the Second World War. He spent 4 years fighting for our freedom, and which is parlayed into my freedom like now for the pleasures we get to have in the United States of America, the greatest nation on planet Earth. In the capitalistic system, to where you can go out and nothing discriminates you if you decide to make up your mind to go after. I don't have a formal education. I ain't got a bunch of pieces of paper hanging on the wall, but yet we consistently stay in the top 1-2% money earners in the entire world. And we work hard at what we do, but we learn how to work smart. And so, Ronnie, you and I have been buddies for 12 years, and all of a sudden, you went one way, I went and stayed with the same direction, and you and I met all those years ago, and we got reacquainted. I don't think it was an accident. I think it was God's grace. It brought us back together at the appointed time. And about 2.5 years ago, you gave me a call, and I wanted you to come in and tell your story as to how we met, why we met, and at that particular point in time, what has transpired in you and Amy.
Is this the prescription you take too?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that worked out so good. You had to go get.
Anyway, come in and tell them what's transpired in your life in the last 2.5 years. So, Ronnie, I know you're looking better. You and Amy, you're the power couple. You look fantastic. You're out there. You're making a difference in other people's lives, and you understand now that's how you make a difference in your own life. To come in and tell a story the day that you called me back and that we met, and the transpiration in your life.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, basically it's been, several years. 10 years. Anyway, well, I got with you a couple of years ago. I called you up. A friend of mine was looking at doing something and wanted to get an opinion of somebody that has been with multiple companies and not really direct sale, but somebody that was had a lot of people underneath them, whether it was a corporation or so. And so I knew that you were, had a lot of people under you for 19 years. And I was like, well, I'll just call Rusty and I know one thing, you'll tell him exactly the honest, what it is, and be upfront, and that's what he wanted to hear. So we introduced each other, walked by. Actually, we walked into the restaurant. I walked right by you. I didn't even recognize you. Because when I saw you 12 years ago, you was over 450 pounds. So, yeah, I didn't recognize you. And I was like, man, what have you done? And you said, I've been drinking coffee. And I'm like, wow, I need to give me some of that stuff because obviously it's working. And you was telling me a little bit about it. You said, it helps curb your appetite and lose your weight and, target your belly fat and all that stuff. And that's how you lose weight. And I'm like, hey, that's great. The problem is I don't drink coffee. And I said, I don't like hot drinks. And you said, well, you can drink it cold. And I sort of brushed it off, and we went ahead and let y'all two talk a little bit about that product. And as we was getting ready to leave, you asked me, you said, so do you want to try some of this stuff? Because you knew by looking at me, I've kept my high school figure, so I was close to 400 pounds myself. And it was one of those where when you asked me that, the first thing that came out of my mouth was, nah, I'm okay. And I don't know why I said that, because prior to that, I told my wife I've got to do something because, man, I've been falling asleep on the way home from work, just, driving a lot. And I didn't feel good. My health was not where it needed to be. And I told her I need to do something. And yet you have something that obviously is proven. It's working for you. You ask me, do I want it? And the first thing I say is, no, I'm not interested. Thank you anyway. And I think we say things like that because we really don't understand what's going to happen, what could happen. So instead of being ignorant or stupid or whatever, look that way, it's easier just to say, I'm not interested and move on. And that's exactly what I did. And you told me, you said, all right, that's fine. Well, when and and the next thing you said, you said, well, whenever you're ready to be an asset to your family, not a liability, call me. And I was like, wow, that's strong words. But all right, I'll think about it. And that's where we left it. So the next day I'm driving to Wilmington to drop some tea off. We own a tea company. And on the way back that night, I heard a pastor on the radio. He's, teaching and talking about something. All of a sudden he said, I never saw a dead man cash a check. And for some reason that hit me so hard, because all I've been doing for the last 3-4 years is robbing Peter to pay Paul. Man, I was doing so many jobs trying to make a little extra money. It seemed like the harder I worked, the further we got behind. It was just, everything was going wrong. And I guess even getting older, all I kept hearing people say, man, if you don't get a real job soon, they ain't going to hire no 60-year-old guy. And I mean, and I'm sitting there going, oh my God, things going to happen, And so it finally got to the point where I was like, man, I got to do something. And when he said that, it hit me so hard. It's like, okay, stop. The first thing you got to do is get your health back in order, because, that is exactly where I was. My energy was gone. Desire to stress done kicked in. Stress, that curves to health, your weight and everything else. I mean, just so many things are coming with stress that is not good. And so I remember calling Amy and I said, hey, I got to do something. And she's like, are you coming home? I'm like, yeah, I'm coming home. It's just that there's got to be some changes. And then I called you and I was like, hey, I said, I need to meet with you. You said, well, I can meet with you tomorrow. I said, all right, well, let's meet tomorrow. I want to get some of that coffee and just get some stuff that can help me lose weight. Said, that's fine. So I went home and told my wife, I said, hey, I'm going up to meet Rusty and I'm picking up some coffee. And she's like, okay, coffee, you don't drink coffee. Why are you drinking coffee? I said, well, this coffee is good coffee. I'm going to be drinking this coffee because it targets your health, or it gets you healthy. It targets your belly fat, gives you energy, curbs your appetite. And I said, and all that stuff I need. And she's like, wait a minute, what did you just say? And I said, yeah. And I told her again. She said, no, back up. And I said, curbs your appetite? She said, no. I said, targets your belly fat? She said, exactly. She goes, get it. I'm going to do it first because last job we had came with luggage and left it. And I want to try it. So I said, all right. So I got it. We come home. I give her the coffee. I'm like, you try it. So she did it for 6 days. And in 6 days, she lost 6 pounds. And it was all in her stomach. And I was like, wow, this stuff is pretty good. And she looked at me. She goes, I don't care what we do. I don't care if we do the business or what. I don't want to run out. Make sure I got my coffee. I said, all right. So I called you up. I said, all right. I said, we're in. We need to go ahead and get the coffee and start ordering stuff. You said, what about the business? I said, I don't want to do the business. I said, I've done these businesses before. I ain't got time to sell out of my trunk and sit on the side of the road and all that, and sat out of my trunk. And you said, well, I don't know where you're at and what you're selling, but we don't do that. And I said, well, that's the way you're supposed to do it. He said, no. He said, for 19 years, he said, we've done it the same way. It's very simple. You buy a product you use, and you try the product, you see results, and you share. And then when they order, they go to your website, they order it, we ship it from our warehouse to their house. That's all it is. And I'm like, well, I can do that. And you said, if you can follow a system, that's all you got to do. And I'm like, now I can do that stuff. And you showed me this system, and it was very simple. And basically, that's what we started doing. You was talking about bonuses and about the first month and all this stuff. You get paid the 15th, and on Fridays you get a bonus stuff. And I didn't really hear all that. I'm like, all right, let's just do it. I didn't want some product. And you showed me how to fill out the form and do what I need to do, get some customers, and get 3 distributors to partner up with it. And so you don't have to go in business by yourself. You got a team, and that's what we are, a team. We work together, help each other, and that's all we do. And you duplicate it. And that's as simple as it was. And that was 2 years ago. And boy, within a year's time, fast forward, I never thought our life would change the way it did. I tell everybody, it's almost like a backwards country song. We got our house back, we got our health back, we got our wife back, we got our life back. Everything was coming back. But what you didn't realize was prior to the month you talked to me, we got a letter in the mail about foreclosure on the house. And I think at that time, I was looking for any other job. At that time, I was doing Uber, I was doing Lyft. I mean, I was driving for Shutter. I was driving for Miss Daisy. Anybody I could do something with, man, I was going to do it to make $1 just to get us caught up. The bad thing about it, I think at that time, every bill we had was at least 2 to 3 months behind. And there was no sight in it. I mean, it was not good. And so we started doing this business and made a little bit. I mean, heck, I remember the first thing called Fast Bonus or Fast Start, or I didn't know what it's called. All I know is the next day, that Friday, I called you up and I'm like, Rusty, I got a check in the mail. And you said, that's good. I said, I know, but it ain't the middle of the month. And you said, I know. I said, well, do I have to give it back? Because I thought they messed up. And you said, no, that's called a Fast Start bonus. And he goes, and I said, is that what I did? He said, yeah, that's what you did. And you showed me that if you get big, you get paid $50, you get paid $50 here, there's $100 there. I was like, really? So by me signing up loyal customers, I ended up getting a Fast Start. Before you know it, my first week I got $200. The next week I got another $300. And I was like, this is crazy. And I hadn't even got to the quote 15th of the month to get my commission check. It was just crazy.
Wow, Ronnie, that's pretty amazing. So, here you are 2.5 years later. And so what does it really look like since we have this slow time shutdown pandemic, whatever they're calling it now? We don't know it's the pandemic. We've not slowed up at all. In fact, we've gained lots of momentum. And I want to clarify something. The reason people don't make it direct sales, you focus on the money. You don't focus on taking a product and becoming I'm my best customer. And you focus on developing a story by utilizing a particular product. If you like something, you buy it at one of the big box stores, you're going to tell people about it. When people can see the difference in you, and they can see a physical difference in your energy, in your health, in your physique, your appearance, the pep in your step, and you can actually get paid to create a story and share it to other people, my goodness. So Ronnie, during the pandemic, how's that affected you and what you do for a living with everything else?
Well, that's what is even, my story is even changing to this day. Because here's what happened. When we started with It between the business I was doing and with It Works extra money that was coming in, that extra money was able to paying off our debt, started helping us pay off, late fees. I mean, we realized very quickly that if we caught our late fees up, our late fees was more money than the bill itself, it seemed like. I mean, we flipped upside down. And when we started taking just what we made there and put it towards that, sort of like Dave Ramsey talks about a snowball effect. You take a little bit, you put it there, and you start building, and then you take that and duplicate it here. And that's all we started doing. In a year's time, that's what just started happening. And so everything's fine and stuff, but here's what happened. I went to bed in February, the end of February, and I had 4 streams of income. I had It Works, and I had 3 other companies that I was a sales rep with. I woke up the next morning, and I'm down to 1 stream of income because the 3 companies that I was selling for are hospitality, hotel, resorts, and stuff. And they're the first ones that they said, we're going to close y'all up, everybody go home. So we went from 4 streams to 1 stream overnight. I was ready. I got a full tank of gas to go work, do what I was going to do. But the government said, no, we're going to cut you down, can't do that. So it all of a sudden just shut me down. And then I realized right then, the only thing that's keeping me payment on schedule is this thing that everybody kept saying, it ain't going to work. It ain't going to last. You won't make a living doing it. It won't outlast a job and all that stuff. If that wasn't there, we would not have that stream coming all through those months. And what I realized also, that we've been doing pretty good with It Works, helping get caught up and all that. Then I realized if I had 4 streams and I'm down to 1, and we've done this and we've been blessed at where we're at now, and I've only got 25% in It Works, what would happen when I put 100% into this one? And so when we were down because the other 3s are not there, that's all I've been doing. And it has unbelievably helped us, but it also helped others show what it could do. And that's when it really taught me, instead of trying to put together a plan B and C and 3 or 4 streams of incomes and all this stuff, if you focus all your stuff in one and stay with it, it's amazing what happens.
So what you're saying, if you really get a plan E and plan A, you make up your mind, I'm not going to give me any other options. I'm going to work really hard on plan A. And so that's what I did all those years ago, as I only gave myself one plan, and I was coming after it like crazy. That's the only plan I needed all these years in order to create the income, create the lifestyle change that we had, and that we still got today, and it's still growing. It's by helping other people. There's a particular law that kicks in when you help other people. It's called the law of reciprocity. And I understand if we come into your life and help make something of consequence happen by developing a product story, the law says it will reciprocate right back into my life. So the more people I got to help, the more it comes back. It's planting the seed, helping people get to whatever it is they want, and you already secure your own future. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. And that's exactly what it was. It's crazy.
Yeah, my wife read something to me a while ago. It said, God will put the grapes within your reach, but not in your mouth. So God will meet you halfway. So it's always within your reach. And so most people, thank God, they've been so used to a particular, I call it a welfare system, through the job. There's nothing wrong with having a job. That's all you aspire to do. By all means, stick with it. How's that working for you? And so, I talked to a man today. He's talking about his me time. It's the weekend. It's going to be a long weekend. I got to have my me time. And I said, well, when you go look at your financial portfolio, how much me time, exactly what kind of ROI is that giving you on your investments? He said, what's the ROI? It's a return on investment. Too long you've taken too much me time because you've been programmed, and it don't generate no source of income, no source of freedom, no source of lifestyle. And so too long we've been programmed, as we said earlier. There's some men and women right now protecting this country so most people can go have their me time. And as long as you think you deserve me time, you're not going to prove them wrong, and you're definitely not going to outwork the people that are hungry. And the people that are really hungry, you make the sacrifices now. One, for your health. If you don't take care of your health now, you'll be forced to later. There's somebody else will be giving you health care, feeding you, cleaning you with tubes all in you. I know I lost my father that way. It wasn't a good sight. 37 days in the hospital. Then I had to make the decision to unplug my dad, which was my hero. And so all these years we do the things that other people won't do today, but yet tomorrow I get to live like other people wish they could. And it's not talking action, it's taking action. And so my mindset was always, we're going to outwork. We're going to never let nobody outwork us. When everybody else is taking me time over the weekend, I promise you, I've got a lot of these Zoom scheduled. I'm going to be working because I want to share a product with people that I know will positively affect your life. And when it positively affects your life, you know what? That means you have a better quality of life. And it's really easy at that point to adapt a lifestyle change. I don't believe diets work. I don't believe any single thing works. But when you make up your mind, I'm going to start participating in a lifestyle change one step at a time, everything about you starts to change. You stop chasing what I call chasing money. You stop chasing it. And all of a sudden, you start to make your time work for you because the time is the only currency that you own. And a lot of people, with that me time, you're just wasting your currency. You're frivolous. And if you got 10 people, it's going to be, or none of your buddies are going to be taking me time this weekend. You're probably the 10th one. Those 9 people are probably really broke, and you're the 10th one. And if those 9 people are really unhealthy and they need plenty of more me time, well, you're going to be the 10th unhealthy person. I just didn't want to participate any longer, so I had to make a lifestyle change. I had to give me what I needed, but I had to be willing to outwork everybody with tunnel vision, staying with my plan A and not being diluted or distracted. And there's 100 people out there that's got the new, latest, greatest, best things. They ain't never made anything happen. So most people, you're so willing to take advice from a broke person that you always stay broke. But I wanted to make my time work for me because my time is a currency. And once you understand how to make time work for you instead of you working for time, when you work for time, you have to show up. But when you make time work for you, it is working for you. That means you're getting paid 24 hours a day. The system warrants it when you follow something that helps other people become successful. And so when you make up your mind, I'm sick and tired of where I was. We're getting too old to keep staying there. I'm going to get really focused on a plan A, and I'm coming after plan A for my health. My wife don't have to ask me to get up every day and apply myself in a particular manner that exerts the energy I need to burn the additional fat to lose the weight I've lost. You don't have to ask me, are you going to go work out today? Are you going to go run it? No, that's 7 days a week because I'm committed. Why? Because, well, I'm not going to let nobody outwork me. And I'm going to prove everybody that said this wouldn't work. I'm going to prove them wrong. For 19 years, we've been proving them wrong. And now I want to help other people prove them wrong. And so when you make up your mind that everything you need is already half to where you need it because it's part of God's law, all you got to do is start to participate in something a little bit different. If what you've done up to now is not working for you, or it works for a little bit and then it don't work and it works for no, come after. You've got the seeds of greatness in you. The grapes are halfway. All you got to do is reach and get them, and you put them in your mouth. That's God's deal. That's His law. Yeah, I got another friend over in. I'm gonna unmute her from Virginia. I've known her since we're probably 18 months old, and she's been a customer of mine for a very long time. She had some knee issues, and she's been utilizing a particular product, and all of a sudden she called me and she told me about how much better she felt, but also when she got to her health club to where she was able, what she was doing, she 10 times the amount of output because of the input that she did. Wendy, I'm so proud to have you on our Zoom today. We've been lifelong friends from Virginia since we're about 18 months old, I guess. I'm not going to tell everybody how old we are, what year that was in. So tell everybody how this collagen made you feel with not only your sleep, but your knees that you was having so much problem with.
Well, you know yourself, Rusty, I was at a point that I was using a walker. And I started using the collagen, and when I started using the collagen, I could tell a difference within 3 days. I mean, the pain was no longer, I mean, I had some pain, but it was amazing. And I called a friend of mine and I told him, I said, is there any way I can come in and ride the bike? And he's like, yeah. He says, you can come in. He says, but I want to see what you can do. And I told him, I said, well, I'll give you 5. And he says, no. He says, I want to see you give me 6. And I'm like, all right, I'll give you 8. He says, all right, I'll give you 8. And I said, no, I said, I'll do better than that. I'll give you 10. He says, can't do it. I said, yeah, I can. And I normally went in and rode, I would ride 2 miles and I would hobble, I mean, literally hobble to my car when I left. I went in on Tuesday and I rode 10 miles plus my 2 miles cool down. And I got up, he laughed at me. He said, let me see you get up now and walk over and get stuff to clean your machine. I said, all right. I got up. I never had to hold on to anything. I got up without even staggering. I walked over, got the stuff to clean my machine, and I walked out and never even limped. Rusty, I no longer hurt at all thanks to that collagen.
Wow. So Wendy, let me ask you another question. You sent me a message last night about this Skinny Brew coffee you're drinking. How's that working for you?
Oh, I love a Skinny Brew. I'm addicted to Skinny Brew. I'm down 4 pounds and I've only been drinking it for a week. So yeah, my Skinny Brew, I'm addicted to that. I drink it twice a day. I really shouldn't because you know me, I'm a night owl as it is, but I hate it. I have to have my 2 cups a day.
And you've done something else that's pretty amazing. It got so good for you when you started making posts about Skinny Brew and collagen. All of a sudden, you got overwhelmed. You blew up within one post. By the second post, you're really blowing up. You said, "I'm just as well get paid for this." So when you started, you had within 24, 36 hours a massive amounts of customers, and I see they're still blowing up. There's another product you're utilizing. You made some BFF chocolate fat bombs. Tell everybody exactly what happened when you said you was eating chocolate and losing weight.
Man, people's going crazy. They're like, how you eating chocolate and losing weight? Because see, I'm diabetic. I can't eat chocolate. And they're like, so your sugar's going through the roof, right? And I'm like, nope. I said, I can eat all this chocolate I want. I said, don't have a bit of sugar in it. And they're like, so it tastes like crap, right? I said, no. I said, actually, I could sit down and eat the whole bowl in one sit. And I said, but I have to kind of be portion control. I said, I have to limit myself. I said, I don't want to look like a pig or anything. I said, so I kind of portion control it. I said, but honestly, I could sit and eat the whole bowl in one sit. And I said, it is the best stuff I ever put in my mouth.
Wow. So I think you ended up within no time flat 13, 14 customers. Now you got more people want to become your customers. Your posts are blowing up. You got people want to get in business with you. Wendy, let me just ask you, you and I we're like brothers and sisters our whole life. Did you actually, and you're not an extrovert, you like to stay at home and behind the scenes and help many people, pray for people, all the stuff you do behind the scenes. Did you ever see you being successful in a business like this?
No, and you if I tried it before and I listened to the negative Nellies and I was like, you know, okay, yeah, you're right. I can't do this. It's never going to pay off. And I just quit. I just said, okay, you're right. I can't do it. And I quit. And you told me, you said, all right, when you're ready to really commit and you want to see the results, let me know. And I just kept praying about it. And I'm like, you know, and I don't know, just all of a sudden it was like, okay, yeah, I got to do this. And you told me, you said, Wendy, it's your time. He says, you told me, you said, I can't force you to do this, but it's your time. And I just took a leap of faith. And you're right, it's been my time.
Wendy, I'm beyond proud of you. I'm beyond proud of Ronnie. I've known you pretty much, well, since we were about 18 months old. Y'all lived we went to church together. Y'all lived beside my grandfather. And when it's a person's time, the reason I know it's your time is you call Robin and I, and the story had developed where your knees aren't hurting. You had your big ride on your bike. You're very consistent with it. You're eating fat bombs. You're losing weight this week. Now you're not hurting. And now you've got people's attention. And the point I'm trying to make is you created a product story. You got excited about it. And people are buying Wendy's excitement because you got proof is in the pudding. It is a results driven. And now you've got a plan A, and you don't need plan B or C or D. You found out how important it is not to be diluted or listen to those people ain't never done nothing. It says something will work. It won't work because they don't work. And so would that be true or be fair to say when you step out and step away from all the negative people and you say, I'm going to hang around positive people, I'm going to hang around people that make things happen, do you tend to start to make things happen when you listen to people that know?
Yeah. Because, I mean, you're right. I mean, as long as I was listening to them tell me that it was never going to happen, it wasn't happening. And I listened to y'all, and I started host to post, and just really just applying myself. And I mean, I find myself just like you. I had to force myself to go to bed and quit posting and just working the business because I need to get some rest. But since I've started just really applying myself, the people are there.
So let me ask you something.
I mean, I'm not going to lie to nobody to sell a product. If it didn't work, I'd tell you that. But everything I'm standing behind, I mean, I'm seeing it work. So I'm not going to tell you that it's not going to work.
Right. Well, you're seeing proof positive within your own personal testimony, the way you feel. Everybody sees the difference in you. I need to ask you one more question. You and I are from the same area. You know, I've been going for 48 years. I come back from time to time. So did you ever believe some of the people that actually become your customers that would support you? Did you ever believe those particular people would be supporting you now and rooting you on, and they're excited because you're excited?
No, never in my lifetime.
So would it be fair to say that God used you at the right time because they needed Wendy to show up?
Yes.
Well,
Very much.
what an amazing story. That's why I'm in this business. That's why 19 years, to hear Ronnie's story, to hear Wendy's story, to the people I've been able to meet through the years. And God knew when we were 18 months old that this time was coming. It would be your time, the right time for you to step up. You need a product line, you need a business line. But it was really not about what you needed. It's because those people needed you, Wendy. They needed you to show up for the impact you've already made on your community in such a short manner of time. Does that sound fair to say?
I hope so.
Well, you're already seeing it. The numbers are definitely reflecting it. Now we can see so. But anyway, thank you for your story.
Rusty.
Yes, sir.
Miss Wendy, I want to personally thank you for that story because that inspired me. And I've been doing it, but it's crazy because the products, the results, just watching you shine of excitement. People wonder what's going on. I mean, it's just crazy. And when you're talking about the BFF and that product there, I mean, you know, I'll sign up under you just to get the recipe. I mean, it's like, because I'm saying I'll make it like a milkshake, and I'm sitting there going, this can't be good, but God, this is good, you know. But it's like it tastes too good to really be healthy.
So good. And people's like, what's the recipe? And I'm like, there's not a recipe. You just have to buy it and make it. It's so good.
Yeah, but like I said, but that's exactly what, and that's what is so good about the company. They've given us a platform to do nothing but just use a product and say, share how it works. That's all we're doing. And you can tell if it's real or not based on our reactions. They're seeing you lose weight. People will notice you lose weight before you lose weight. People will notice you shine before you shine. And there's people that I've walked into a room and they're like, man, what have you done? And I'm like, I'm looking behind me, think I left the door open or something. I'm like, what? I didn't do anything, you know. But I will say one thing. You know, matter of fact, I told Rust I've always been pretty big and, you know, and all that. I told him, I said, you know, that when you finally get a compliment that they see a difference and it makes you go, you know, it was worth taking that step and staying focused. And it's funny when you get a compliment from one of the people that tells you that ain't gonna work. Well, really cool when they become one of your customers. And so yeah, it's just it's all timing, and I'm excited about the time that we're starting in now. So,
you know, now's the time. I've been here a long time. I've been through 3-4 great runs, but this is a run like I've never seen, and we're going to take a lot of people with us. And you do that by getting highly focused and outworking people. Michael Gonaville, you've been a running buddy of ours for a very long time. You actually introduced me to Ronnie a long time ago. You've come back in to the fold and with Ronnie and I. And so let me just ask you, you've done some pretty big business deals. I mean, but you work your butt off. You travel all the time, which took you away from your children. And every daddy wants to be with his kids. So let me just ask you, Why did you come back with us?
It really, Rusty. Can you hear me? Just shake your head.
Yes,
And
sir.
well, let me tell you. I know everybody's got a story, but this is real transparency. This ain't to get anybody emotional. It was for two reasons, and both of them. It's called my daughter Sophie and my son Gabriel, because I made millions of dollars, but those tennis shoes only lasted until they grew out of them. And the time and the memories was just drifting. And I stopped. I don't know. I think the thing that hit me the most was my daughter looked at me one day and said to me, "Dad, when are you going to come back home? Like, you're like always gone." Because guess what I thought? Truly, and I look at all y'all in the soul, I thought that damn money was, and excuse my language, but I thought the money was the key to my success. And it really wasn't. You asked me a question, why I come back. It was because of two little kids that I did not spend years with. And I said to myself, I got to give up something. So I was willing to give up that money for time. And not only that, it's guys like you, Ronnie, Rusty, Robin, that I can lean on. I love that song, and I'll always love that song. And I sang it yesterday, and Rusty laughed at me. Lean on me, when you're not strong. And you know what? That's what we don't do. A lot of people don't lean on people. And I learned when you got people like these people I'm pointing at right here, they want you to lean on them because they don't want nothing from you. So I did it for my children. And I did it so I can be an asset, like you've always told me, be an asset to your children, like you are to those two little girls you got, Rusty. You've led by example you've helped me grow as a father to know that the Sea-Doos and the tennis shoes and the whatever else all didn't matter. That my little kids needed my time, just like what you shared with me this morning, Rusty. Remember those words you told me to say in text to my daughter every day? Well, I did that. So it was for me, not the money. I wanted to be healthier. I knew the products worked. I've been doing it over 10 years ago. I did it. I knew they worked. I know they've gotten better. Now I can live longer, hopefully, and spend more time with my kids. What a recipe. I like pecan pie, but I don't know if the recipe gets any better than them two things for me. So I appreciate you letting me share.
Yeah, well, you said something, a key word here. You had to give up something, not to get something, but to gain something. When you give up something to gain something, you gain more time with your family.
Yep.
And money is always temporary, and you'll want it. You'll always run hard to make it, to chase it, to pay somebody else. But when you make up your mind, you're going to give up something to gain something, gain your time freedom, share something that changes other people's lives in a particular manner. It makes a positive impact. And when that positive impact starts to hit people, you know you've done it. Like Wendy hitting these people, and she didn't have no idea that people are looking for something. They were just waiting for Wendy to give up something to gain something, to gain something, to gain a story, to gain her health back, to gain the time freedom and the flexibility of your time for you to own the time so you can make those memories with your children. That's the one reason I walked away from the bank, and I'm not going to tell you how I left them, but I left them right then, and I come home because my kids was worth it right now. So I had to give up something in order to gain something. And now, how important is it, Michael, now that you've come over? I know you got offered a big sum of money last night. I heard, I was on the phone listening. to the person that offered you a lot of money, and I was really proud of you for turning that down. To get focused on plan A, and this is your plan A, and there is no plan B. You don't need plan B when you come after plan A, as long as you're making an impact on people's lives. So how is it to just have plan A and know that already you're putting things together in a rapid, in a short order, but you're impacting and changing people's lives? Where'd you go, Michael?
It looked like it froze up.
Yeah, it looks like he's froze. But anyway, we're going with the plan A. We're all working together in this plan A, and you don't need plan B. And most people, they think about it, they got to have 4 or 5 streams of income. They've been as an illusion out there. They've been misdiagnosed, I call it. If you work really hard on plan A will consequently put you in a position to take the funds from plan A and invest in plans B and C. Where there's real estate or investments or whatever, you'll make enough money from the source to make that money work for you. And that's all we've done all these years. We work really hard and we make our money work really hard. We're not poor man rich. We live in a manner that we can just enjoy time without being in crazy amounts of debt. And it's easy to get out of debt when you use the system that Ronnie was talking about. It's called the snowball effect. But you know what the beautiful part is? When you start the snowball effect, it starts in your life. You're going to get your health back. You start to pay your debt down. You start to increase more income. You start to enjoy life more, things that truly matter. And when you do that, the thing that matters to me most is who can I get up early every morning and impact your life in a positive manner that creates what I call legendary legacy. I'm looking past all of you. I see your families. I see your children, your grandchildren. I want to help secure the future of those children. And how do we do it? So you got to give up something to gain something. And there's nothing more precious than gaining your time freedom. And you know what? You can listen to 40 different people go 40 different directions. They're running from this, that, and the other. They just never got committed. And once you commit to yourself, if you don't get committed to yourself and your health and your way of life, giving up something to gain something, which is your time freedom, and you know what happens at that particular point? You're always running to from fro, and you're always running from here to there. When you run from here to there, you know what's always happening? Nothing. And when nothing is never happening at that particular point, is you're always in that hamster wheel, always running circle in a big old circle. You're not gaining any ground. And so when you make up your mind from where you are to where you're going, and you get committed, what's going to happen? You're going to never let nobody outwork you. And you're going to start to prove everybody else wrong, as Wendy said, as Ronnie said, as Michael said. We start proving people wrong, and it's in your work ethic. It's in your story. There's nothing more in your whole life. There is nothing more important than your story. It's just got to make up your mind who's writing your story. Well, see, you have the pen to your story. You're the one committing your story to paper through how you spend your time. And when you make up your mind, I'm going to commit my story to paper, but I'm going to write a blockbuster. This is my story. I'm going to write the happiest ending, the most wealthy ending in my health. I'm going to have more time that is free. And you'll be surprised when you start journaling and writing your story down every single day, your actions change. The people you hang out with change. Everything about you change. You elevate yourself to a new level because you created a new standard. And once you step up in standard, you'll stop sitting around wasting time. You'll stop waiting on the pandemic to get over. You'll stop making every excuse in the flipping world that you can't take ownership of your life and make that lifestyle change. I promise you, if you're not willing to get committed to you, your lifestyle will never change. Somebody else will change your lifestyle, but you will never change your lifestyle the way you want to live life, if that makes any sense. So guys, I appreciate you being on the Zoom today. It is recorded. We'll get Robin to download it, and we'll get this put out in the groups that we're in, and then we've got some more people we're going to be adding to the groups. But I appreciate your time today, and this is how we're conducting business now, to the tune of it's crazy, man. People are hungry. They're after it, and people right now, just like Wendy said, people are waiting on you to show up with your product story, because you can impact their life, and when you impact their life in that manner, the money always follows the standard you set. So what standard have you set in your life? Guys, I love you. You matter to me. Until tomorrow or whenever you need me, you better make this the best day you've ever had.